Welcome to Boxing on the Record with Chi-Town and Randy. Before we get started, I want y'all to like, subscribe, share, comment, and engage with us to help the channel grow. Chi-Town, what's going on with you today, man? I know we got a lot going on in the news today, and my man AB, my man AB, my man AB is back in the news again. He got kicked off the podcast for being disrespectful, like always. We know he was drunk, man. What say you to AB and
Oh,
his antics
Randy,
and what's
Randy,
going on?
Randy, my brother, my brother. It's good to see you as always. I appreciate you opening up this particular topic and throwing it at me. It's another bad one for AB. Boy. Uh, I respect the Cameron and Mace Cameron, especially the way that he handled himself as a mature man, especially when
Yeah,
he knows that this particular thing is being viewed by people as well as people listening, and it kept it straight business how it is. No, I like you, I like all this stuff, but you know, you kind of we set the rules and then you've broken the rules a couple of times. So I can't, because this is how men operate. We operate on this type of level, this honor, this type of thing. It's a respect thing, and to be on here and do this, and I'm in this thing, it's disrespectful. And then AB caught that, and I'm sorry, and then try to go on and do all these type of things. And this is the problem I have with this cat, man. And I've been having this problem with him for
be careful, be
years,
careful, be
years,
careful, be careful,
years.
because it's AB you talking about. Go ahead,
Right.
because be careful. I don't
And
usually
that's
try
the
not to
problem.
interrupt, but walk light,
And
because
that's
it's
the
AB.
problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Too many people giving him passes. This is the problem. Oh boy, it was just a terrible sight to see. You don't want to see anybody going down that bad. But AB being drunk again, obviously drunk on the show. Okay, maybe you bubbly and everything, because we know people come out here to maybe smoking, we smoking, whatever Cameron setup is, and he's like, okay, that's cool. But you still got to have a certain level of presence. And you just can't be out here sloppy like this and just going off the side, you know? And he did it. And so I can't even tell you how many times we've seen AB, you know, do whatever he does, pissy, sloppy, drunk, whatever, and then come back with this whole, thank you, God. I'm changing my life around, guys. I'm gonna be different and everything. And he come on doing some kind of push-ups or some running or doing some kind of stuff. Oh, I think he back again. This gonna be AB, and then he flip out and do the same trash again, man. I'm not with it, man. I'm not with it. I'm very disappointed in him as a professional. It does seem like his life is beginning to spiral a lot more. And he's getting a lot older, man. This cat is 36 years old, man. And to be carrying on like this, I would say it's beyond me just hanging out in my 20s and having, cocktails, whatever, and vibing with different broads or whatever. It's it's more than that now. This is not that. There's something I think that's deeper to all of this, man. And it's not good. This in between inactive time and drinking and coming on these things where you obviously drunk and drinking all this stuff. This is concerning. This is concerning. What you got for me?
Yeah, I think it's been a downhill slope for a while. Uh, I think ever since AB fell out the wagon, or however you want to put it, because he was young, so I don't know if he fell out the wagon or just got addicted to the lifestyle, I should say, not just the alcohol. I think it's the lifestyle. I think it's he's trying to relive yesterday, and it's not coming back. And the things that he remembers so great about yesterday is that he had fun. He. And when I say the lifestyle, I know a lot of people as athletes or people that come into a large amount of money, especially through athletic ways that come from a place where they didn't have nothing at all or very little, and it's almost like them winning the lottery. The most that they do is, for a lot of them, they go out and party and have a good time, and everybody around them is having a good time, and they don't want that party to end. And for a while, it don't end because you're making a lot of money. You can keep the party going. But now he don't have anything, and he's still trying to keep the party going. So if you can't get the people together like you used to because you had the money to keep the party going, why not buy a bottle of Everclear and fall into it and get clearly drunk? You feel what I'm saying? In your mind, you still got the party going. You probably calling up some of the same people that you partied with. Some of them answering and some of them not. And you're just trying to recreate that moment, I think. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're saying something really good right there, Randy. I don't think that many people are tapping into or even try to go deeper and to understand a little bit more. When we think about these fighters that they fight once a year or once every 2 years or whenever they fight, but they get a lot of money for that. Yeah, we're looking at a lot of times we're looking at from our perspective. We make however much we make, but in our specific perspective, each day we're still going to work. Unless we like have our own thing, we have some kind of investments where the money's coming into us. But majority of the fans, we still are going to the office, so our time is occupied throughout the day by being at work here, and then we leave work. Maybe if we have families or married or whatever, go home and you got to do stuff with the wife, the kids, whatever, and the day is full. Then the next day is similar. The next day similar. For these boxers, if you're not in boxing camp, that's a lot of idle time. And to have millions of dollars like that, and you fighting once a year or once every 2 years, millions of dollars. And if you're not in camp and you're not disciplined like Floyd or Bud, where you're just constantly training. What are you doing on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for that year that you're not doing that? And especially if you're not training, it leaves too much room for vices if you don't have that type of character. So I think you're on to some things there. And I think that idle time for him, AB, is probably something that's not necessarily good. He needs to have something specific, like, okay, I have a fight coming aside to get focused on this. Because we've seen him be messy, and then we've seen him lose all of his weight, which was crazy. Like and it looked as if he never gained weight ever. So he was extremely disciplined, extremely focused for that whole entire time. And I've heard more I said more because I have to change it to saying many because I don't mean more after him. Like he was the first one that did it. I mean, this has been a common thing that's been said by many fighters in the context of fighting, being focused. Being back in the thing, I just get locked in, and it helps me to have like this thing to focus on and get direction for all these types of things. Then outside of that, you got to be extremely disciplined if this is your only way of making money. Beyond sitting on the corner shooting craps or doing everything, but we're speaking about grown man stuff. That's your only way to make money, and you're only doing it like once or twice every year. In those down times, if you have invested your money in different things, properties or other type of investments, stock market, or whatever you chose to do, then you can kind of maybe have that money continually coming in or building, growing wealth or whatever you got behind. Okay. But if you're not doing any of the things, you don't have those things, those different investments happening, but you're just out here idle. And as the money begins to dwindle, that could also create even more darkness for you, because then you start going through a period of despair. All I know is boxing. This is all I do, but I'm not really, I'm older now. I'm getting to the thing where I'm not going to get no big fights anymore. I'm not going to get into these things. What do I do now? I can't go work at McDonald's, or Burger King, or wherever they got, wherever he's from, because I'm just thinking I can't go back down to that making $7 an hour, however much they pay. So what do I do? And then you kind of start going through a dark thing, and then what do? You go to your bottle of Everclear. You go to those different things that help me like escape that moment, and that moment ends up being 6 years, of that moment, which is not good. Go ahead, bro.
And I agree with you 100% because you have to think about, for us, it's no brainer that we got to go to work every day. That's just for whatever job we choose. Sometimes we get laid off and don't work for a little while, but eventually we got to go right back to work. That is no problem for us because that's what we've done all our life, ever since about 16 years old. But when you never work and you had millions of dollars, it's kind of a little bit harder for you to go to a 9 to 5 when people been watching you for that little short amount of time, 10 years maybe. I'm just saying. for that short amount of time. And for you to go on a job and work next to somebody that used to pay to come see you entertain them, or for somebody that used to see you living hound to hog, if you will, it's a different type of, it's a different type of feeling. It's a different type of stress. It's a different type of struggle than what we're used to. Um, it's already hard enough with people in your business as an everyday person. You know, we get mad at people that's talking in our business and all in our business. But think about it from a standpoint when the whole world has their eye on you and they're in your business. You feel what I'm saying? They're in your business. So I think that's got a lot to do with what he's going through and what's going on in his mind. Uh,
Yeah, I think those are very valid points. Very, very,
yeah,
very valid. And do you think also along with that, that maybe he himself is seeing the fact that he's a particular age, and can I really, do I have another 10 years of fighting in me? I can maybe sell myself so much. I'm doing a horrible job at selling myself. No promoters want to deal with me because I'm so up and down or all this type of stuff. And I'm really beginning to feel lost. And I'm almost 40 years old and I don't have anything to show for myself other than like my boxing record, if you will, that I've amassed over the years. But I can't get no really big, huge money fights now. And what do I do now? Do you think some of those things could be some pressures that's hitting that can add to maybe if he is in a dark space, could add to some of the darkness that he might be experiencing?
yeah, I really do think so because I put myself in some of these situations, or I put my peers in some of these situations. For myself and peers, if you're 37, 40 years old and you haven't gotten anything yet, you still have hope because your hope is, okay, I may can get a job and tap into a 401k and still get a decent retirement. At worst, I could get Social Security, get the little check from Social Security. It ain't gonna be much, but it's gonna be a check every month. I'm not used to millions of dollars, so the little change that they give me, I can figure out a way to make it work. Maybe sell some cans and pick up a part time job, whatever the case got to be to make ends meet. It's not as much pressure for us as common everyday people. But for somebody like him, I think the pressure is I've had millions. I don't want to have to die with nothing because my whole life would be a failure if I die with nothing versus, we dying on Social Security. So I think that kind of pressure too is actually on him too because he's getting to the stage and at the age he already passed time for him to leave the sport, even if he was in the sport
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
wasn't an elite fighter. 35, it's over. You know what I'm saying? 35, you got to be careful that you ain't getting beat by guys shouldn't even be in the ring with you. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
he realized that it's over. I mean, then by the time he get 40, he definitely know it's over. Don't many people surpass 40 as a fighter. Maybe Floyd could have, maybe B Hop, Crawford, maybe if he picked the right opponents right now. You feel what I'm saying? It's only a few that can go past 40. And AB has abused himself too bad to go past.
yeah.
He's abused himself to come back, not even go past because he been gone. He can't come back because he been gone too long. And we know in the sport of
Yeah,
boxing, you have to be there all the time
you
in
do.
order to be effective.
Man, the beautiful Randy, beautiful. What do you think about some of the people that he hangs out with? Do you think that they may be contributing to that? The people that's around him, um, not like calling it out and be like, "Look, bro, you know, you don't need to be like this. You don't. We need to do this. Let's just focus on this." Someone to help him kind of get right. Or what do you think about that? You think he just hanging around with these cats that are influencing him to still be out there like that, and they're not really seeing what we're seeing?
Yeah, I think so because um, sometimes you can be around people, man, and you think they're for you, and they're not really for you. Um, and even the moves that they're making, you think they're for you, but they're not really for you. And I think I think some of the people that are around AB right now are making a mockery out of him. You feel what I'm saying? It's almost like um, when you was the man, I looked up to you, and I played second fiddle to you everywhere I went, everywhere we went. Now you are nobody. Now I got more than you, or I'm living better than you. So I'm gonna keep indulging you, so you'll keep doing what you're doing to stay in the position that you're in, instead of trying to get you to get right. Because I rather see you like this, and I could take you around people and talk about you behind your back. This is what happened when you get on alcohol or whatever else he's on, and can't get off it. You was once the man in the spotlight, all this money, fancy cars, and all that. Now you begging for for a Happy Meal when we go in McDonald's. So you don't went from a superstar to a groupie.
Yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning, and something that I think is very. I don't want to go too far into it because I obviously don't want to bring my professional background into all these things. But there is a certain, um, I think, possibly mental health aspect to this as well. And all of this stuff is just a bad mix of a lot of different things happening. And you know, I can't because he doesn't seem like he seems like a person that is always resistant to someone that's saying no, unless you just really stand like, you know, Cameron, you know, and you're just like, look, no, this is what it is. It's what it is, you know. But outside of that, maybe his crew or whomever's on there, they trying to tell him no, but he still be talking, well, you know, I paid this for you, so and so, or you know, whatever. I don't know, whatever scene. But the reason I'm saying that is because to me, I think I personally feel just out of just love for another my fellow human being, that someone within his crew, someone that's around, could just go all out and just pull him out of that situation. Be like, listen, man, this none of this stuff is healthy for you. We need to get you away from here, wherever you live at, or wherever you hang out, away from here. We're not even going to do this anymore. We shipping you to wherever, Germany, and that's where you're gonna be at. Around the thing where you don't have these type of influences, these vices around you, and we're gonna get you. If you need to get some mental help, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get all these things because we care about you as a human, not about this fighter aspect. You know, we want you to still be around until you're in your 80s, not all this other stuff. So, but I don't want to put too much judgment on these friends or whoever's on it because I don't know anything about any of these characters. And I don't want to be like trying to throw my ideologies and qualities and making it seem like what I say and think is the correct way or the best way. You know what I mean? That's definitely not what it is. But I'm just coming from more of a caring aspect of this, and I'm just thinking about another, just a regular person. When you start seeing them spiral like this, it's not good. It is not good, and I don't want all the bad stuff to happen to AB. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it as far as his whole foolishness that we're seeing on this whole getting kicked off the show. It's not his first time. I mean, with this embarrassment in front of the public, and I pray he doesn't. It seemed like he may be getting used to it. So it's like, whatever. The people seeing him being a fool like this while he's drunk, um, and that's the worst thing too. We don't want to see that. So, anyways, yeah, that's about as far as I got. I can go with that um, on in that context without kind of going into my whole professional background and all the things and blah 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 and everything. But I do think that it's a critical time now. Someone needs to intervene. He needs an intervention for his own well-being and safety.
Well, I think I think that's a great idea. That really is a great idea. And but the only problem I have with that is it's hard to save a man from himself. And I think AB is self-destructive right now. It's almost like a drug addict. You can send a drug addict to the rehab, but if they're not ready to change, then they can stay in there a year and come back out in less than 24 hours, relapse, and they done been off it for a year. So I think AB is in that position right now that he's fighting with himself. He got to dig deep down inside himself to find something that can that he can find to pull on to get him out of the situation that he's in, something important enough for him to fight for. Even with his kids, sometimes the kids ain't enough to pull you out of it, because it's easier to go to your handicap or to your addiction or to your whatever you want to call what he's on. It's easier to go to that and deal with that than it is to try to fight to get uh clean or sober. Um, Granted, he beat a lot of people in the ring, and he beat some of them real bad, but he in a fight with himself right now. And most of the time, when you're in a fight with yourself, you're gonna lose, because yourself is one of the worst fights you can get in a fight with, because can't nobody do you worse than you do yourself. You find yourself thinking about things and punishing your things for things that yourself for things that ain't even happened. No matter how much somebody tell you it's okay, it's gonna be all right, you still find a way within yourself to say, no, I got that, I got that. You done been in a fight with yourself. You know how it is to beat yourself down. And you find
Absolutely,
people that
absolutely.
and you find people that they're saying, people might call, oh, you pretty, or you handsome or whatever, but yourself is telling you that's not true, because you don't see what everybody else see. You feel what I'm saying? Or you might have a car that's a what it is, 2025. You might have a car that's a 2022 or 2024, and yourself may still tell you you still ain't got enough. You still on you still need a better car. You feel what I'm saying? So anytime you get in a fight with yourself, you in trouble anyway. And like I said, you got to find something within itself to live for. And sometimes your family is not enough. And I don't know what it's gonna take for him to get back on track. We might find him dead in the
I
gutter
agree.
one day. Hopefully we don't, but we
I
might.
totally agree,
I
bro.
mean,
I totally agree, and it's unfortunate because I mean, many people throughout the world, whoever's watching the video now, I'm sure someone's either known someone, been connected to someone, or something that's had different vices like these, and it really comes down to the individual. And that's what all this stuff is. It really comes down to the person. How bad do you want it? Do you have that drive to kind of, you know, to move forward and change? If they don't want to change, you can give them all the interventions they want, and unfortunately, it won't work unless they themselves are there. So I've seen it, and I definitely get what you're saying.
yeah.
What
Um,
else you got for me?
I think that's it about AB, man. We can always cook on AB. We can come back and we can spin the block on AB, man, because it's always going to be something to talk about with AB. And I think he just got to get himself together, man, and find something to live for. Will he ever be a Will he ever be the same AB again? No. Um,
No, not at all.
um,
And he got kids
I
too.
believe
You
at
know what I'm
this
saying?
point,
Something I'm gonna do it for the kids. At least so find something. He got whatever inspires him to
yeah,
be better. He needs to do that and just dig deep. You know.
and and then he need to come to terms. Probably a lot got to do with it too. He need to come to terms that he would not be the same AB again.
I think
Unfortunately,
that's one of the
yes.
biggest things. Yeah. And my
Unfortunately,
stance. Oh, I'm sorry, Randy. My stance has been even since when he came into boxing. It was kind of be the thing. He was never to me. He was never the AB that he to me that he thinks he is. Now the other people they think he's all that. So he's always had the false image of who he really is and what he can really do. I liked him better when he was literally trying to fight his own style as opposed to trying to mimic and be more like Floyd. And he in certain periodic fights, I think after the Madonna fight, but just before, I think that we would see him go back to fighting just like AB would fight, as opposed to trying to be this Floyd cat.
mhm.
But that was the best thing for him to do if he would have been able just to perfect his own style and stay on the nation. But yeah, anyways, I definitely want to spin the block on that when it comes down to him recognizing that he's never going to be the same. Wherever he thought he was never that guy to me, anyways. And so, but he's definitely better than the guy we're seeing now. So I'll give him that. But yeah, that's about all I got on it.
Okay, that's all I got on it too, man. Like I say, good show, man. Enjoy. Always chopping up with you. Always enjoy it, man. And glad to be back on again. Hopefully we can get a little bit more consistent. Like I said, we just don't have the time. We need to make the time to be consistent, but we just don't have
Like,
the time.
bro, that's how it goes.
Yeah, we're gonna try to make it work, man. But like I said, even if don't nobody um appreciate what we do, man. I appreciate you being on here. I know you appreciate me, man. At least we get it off our head, off our chest, and on the record, man. We're gonna keep putting it on the record until somebody get on here and tell us not to. And even if they do, we still gonna put it on the record. So it is what it is. Y'all, man, y'all like, share, subscribe, help us get our numbers up so we can bring it to some more people that want to hear what we gotta say, man. And that's all I got. That's all you got.
Yes, sir.
We out of here like last year.
Peace.